Hello, everybody. Welcome. I have a friend of mine who has an amazing beard, and I wanted to have him on the show and just ask him a couple of questions. He's been rocking a beard for a good amount of time here and always has something positive to say about it. And it's been years since I last had him on the show and spoke to him. So this is Mike Potts. Hello, Mike. How are you doing? How have you been?
Great. It's good to be with you, Paul. It's good to see you, talk to you.
Yes, now your beard is looking wonderful. And I remember when you were first letting it grow big. How long ago has it been now?
Oh man, I can't remember, but it had a little red. It had a little used to have a little bit of red in it, but I think that's pretty much gone.
Yeah, it's interesting because it did have a little color, and so I want to ask you. So, what made you decide to just let your you had a small beard for a while, and then you just let it grow, right?
Yeah, and I'd go back and forth. But um yeah, I'm in management at work, and I gotta get on a lot of conference calls and stuff like that. And I just decided, you know what, it's I'm just gonna let it grow, and I'm not gonna trim it back to the what they call the corporate beard, the short beard. So, and it's been fine. So
That's great. I know you're one of the few men that have a wife who actually loves your beard, so I know that's been made easy for you. I know this bothers a lot of women when their men let their beards grow, but your wife has been along with you the whole time, right?
yeah, pretty much. I do get trimmed about 3 times a year, professionally trimmed at Beards and Beers in Louisville, and I got a guy there, Mike Hack, and he does a good job. Well, generally she says, let's trim it to here, and then I go in and I say, well, let's just take off maybe a bit, that much.
Well, I was going to ask you that because at first you weren't trimming it at all, right? You were just letting it grow.
I I went for 3 years and didn't trim anything at all, and that was right prior to our trip to Israel, and my sons and I, and it got it got pretty straggler. I mean, it was down to like my belly button, and it didn't look as good. I was on part of that Terminal Link Beard Club and stuff like that. But I finally trimmed it, and it actually looked much fuller once I trimmed it. It was just yeah.
So what made you decide to let it grow for 3 years and not trim it? And then what made you decide, okay, now it's time?
I just want to see what it would look like and see what would happen. But yeah, I definitely it was getting long and getting into stuff, and kept pulling it and whatnot. So I trimmed it, and well, I didn't trim it. I went and had it trimmed, and yeah, it looked a lot better. And now I get, like I said, I get trimmed about 3 times a year. Right. Well, actually, prior to Passover, prior to Sukkot, and Shavuot. So each right before those 3 feast times, I get it trimmed up a little bit.
Now, do you ever trim it yourself or you always go to someone to trim it?
Yeah, I usually go to Mike Hulk, and he trims it, and he does a good job. So
And how do you find him? You went to him one time and you liked it and you kept going
yeah,
back?
I want there's a place in Louisville called Beards and Beers, and you go there, and they specialize a little bit in the beards. So I tried several different people, and then finally I found him, and since I found him, I go back to him every time.
Now, when you let your beard grow when you're not getting the trim, do you let the sides grow in or do they not grow in or it's always like that?
Uh, yeah, I don't like to have to do a lot of maintenance and whatnot. So there may be like one or two hairs that when I go in, and they may trim it down a little bit, and then particularly in the sideburn area, they take it down a little bit. But that's pretty much it. I mean, then obviously the length, take off a little bit.
So when they trim it, they're not just making it neat, they're actually cutting the length a good amount.
Yeah, it depends on how long I've gone. Usually I just get just enough to even it out and whatnot. Just kind of shape it up a little bit.
Sure. And tell us about the progression of your mustache because a lot of people, when they let their mustache grow, comes over the lip, and that's kind of annoys a lot of people. But people that get it shortened kind of sometimes look uneven. But if you let it grow too long, the mustache is an interesting thing. So what's been your thoughts about your mustache over the years with your beard?
Well, I like a longer mustache. Couple reasons, right? I don't want to be accused of being. There's a couple different religions that have a longer beard, but either no mustache or a short mustache, and I definitely don't want to be uh, accused of being one of those things. So I do, and I do like a long mustache. I don't. I think it looks, to me myself, I think it looks a little bit lopsided, right? If you got a big old long beard and then a short mustache. So I don't care for that myself. But yeah, there. I mean, and there's some tricks to it, right? I got this thing called a whisker dam, and this is it here. So it's a whisker dam, and you can put it on cups and stuff. And I actually got that for my wife a few years ago, so she didn't have to kiss my wet mustache. So I got it for
So
her.
so wait, show us that. Show us that product.
Oh, it's right here. So it fits on a here. I can show you. I got it on this cup right here. It fits on there, and I can drink and keeps me from getting my mustache wet.
Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting.
So yeah, so I got a few of those, and carry them around, and they're nice to have. Keeps my mustache from getting wet. So
You'll have to give us the link. We'll put it below.
it's just whiskerdam.com.
Okay. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And as you mustache, how often do you find yourself shaping it or brushing it to the side often or not really as it's getting longer?
Yeah, well, if I'm going someplace, yeah, I might brush it to the side, but generally, a lot of times I'll just let it. It'll be long and in the way.
Sure. And do you ever, besides going and get somebody to trim it, do you ever trim your mustache in between trimming visits?
No, not really. Sometimes I'll
Okay.
have one that's like it'll stick way out here, and I can't get it to go down, and I'll just take it out because it's annoying. But
Sure. Sure. And as for the color of your beard, it was kind of reddish when you first started, and now it's kind of all white.
yeah,
Yeah. Have you ever had any thoughts or ideas? Maybe I'll color it, or that never crossed your mind?
no, I would never do that.
Okay, so
Well, first off, because of the chemicals and all that stuff, but just the yeah, I'm not looking to Granted, I'm 59. The beard makes me look maybe 69, right? So I'm not really looking to look younger. I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me to look older. So I'm not looking to dye my beard at all.
sure. And as you're walking around with your beard, what kind of comments do you get?
I work from home and we have a home church and I don't get out too often. But yeah, I don't really get any comments at all for the most
Okay.
part. And if you recall back to we had an interview years and years ago, you get the beard nod, right? And then if
Yes.
somebody
Yes.
else with the beard, you get the beard nod or whatever.
Yeah. So, what about your friends and your family, or people that are new to your assembly? Do they ever like comment about your beard, negative or positive?
Um, I I think I've mostly got positive comments. Yeah,
Okay.
no negative.
And in all the years that I've known you, it's been a long time now, with your beard and everything that's happening with your beard and going on with your beard. Do you wish you would have did it sooner, or are you glad the timing of it? How do you feel
Yeah,
about
no, I wish when I had the full color, it would have been all red. I would have loved to have had a big beard back then, but yeah, it just wasn't part of me at that time. But now I can't see myself without a beard. Matter of fact, I thought about shaving it the other day, and it was the worst 5 seconds of my life. So
that? What advice would you give to men out there that are thinking about it but struggling with letting it get past a certain point?
there's the thing called the yeared, which you just let it go for a year and see what happens. I mean, there's some people that can't grow beards, and there's some people. I got a friend Josiah. He's a firefighter. He can't really grow a beard too well anyhow. But even if he couldn't keep it because he has to be able to put the mask on and stuff like that. So
Sure. And when you do get your beard trimmed, the 3 times a year, do you get a lot of compliments like right after, like, "Oh, I'm so glad you got it trimmed," or "It looks so much better," or do people not even really notice?
uh yeah, really just my wife. She likes it when it gets trimmed to a certain extent. It looks a little bit neater for a little bit. But I really like it to get in there and kind of trim this part up in here because otherwise the sideburns get too long and it just gets a little bit squirrely.
Sure, sure. Well, what do you use on your beard? Do you use any beard products, a special shampoo or conditioner or a beard butter or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a low maintenance type of individual. I don't really care to put all that stuff in there. Um, I just I don't know if you ever heard of Mane and Tell. We'll just get it CVS. It's a cheap um, shampoo and conditioner. I do that, but I don't do it all the time. So it's just maybe once a week, twice a week, depending on what's going on.
Well, back a long time ago when you and I spoke, Duck Dynasty was out, and
Oh yeah.
Beards
Mhm.
got like a really negative comments about being homeless, and but it seems like Beards have become made a comeback, and now it's being more accepted in society today. Do you find that to be true?
Uh yeah. Particularly just regular beards, but I mean, like for instance, current not to get all political or anything, but JD Vance, he's got a beard and he's running for vice president. So I think Trump would look good with the beard, but maybe he can't grow one.
Yeah, and a long time ago, if you would have mentioned, I mean, of course, Abraham Lincoln had a beard, but when you and I were talking years ago, if you would have thought somebody had a beard in politics, it was like a definitely no way, that's not going to happen. And now you're
Right.
seeing people that happen. I think Al Gore, after he was out of the race, he let his beard grow, and then from there, you had David Letterman when he retired, his let his
Oh
beard
yeah, yeah.
grow,
David
and
Letterman's got a bigger beard.
yeah, so it's like something men want to do, but they let either Hollywood or entertainment or politics hold them back. But now it seems like they're going for it, and maybe it's not always a big beard like JD Vance, but at least they're trying to let the hair grow on their face.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's wonderful. Okay, so what do you think? So what do you think is going to happen in the future? Do you think more men are going to have longer beards again, or do you think you and I are going to be like just continue to be unique?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if JD Vance gets in there and is the vice president, and that'd be a lot of exposure for people with beards. So it's hard telling. Um, I don't know.
Yes. Well, all right. Well, it's I'm going to put a link below to our previous interview many years ago, and so
The
people
one
could
the one
see.
the one at Revive or
Oh, I don't remember. Oh, I think it was that one, but I'm going
yeah,
to find it and put a link to it. But your beard does look great, and it looks wonderful. I mean, for mine, it's interesting, and I always think maybe you could tell me. I know yours wasn't brown; it was more reddish. But I got my beard. My hair is not gray. My beard is gray, than when you knew me from back in the day. It was more peppery. Now it's getting white, but still
mm,
around the mouth, it still has some dark hairs. But you would think the dark hairs would be at the end, and the white as the white comes in. But it seems the dark hairs are there and then the ends are white. So,
yeah, it's all genetics and whatnot. So my last part of my red was right always up here, right in the cheek area. So
okay, was it?
it just
Okay.
yeah, it just all depends on genetics.
So you think that's it? Each person's different.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just like each person's different on how their beard grows or if
Sure,
they can grow
sure.
a beard. So some people get all patchy and whatnot. So it just all
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah, for a while I was trimming it here, but then I didn't like the maintenance and also how it looked, and I just let it grow in and uh I'm the beard channel's going strong and I'm loving it more than ever and it's great and it's great that you've kept your beard over all these years and it looks wonderful. It looks wonderful. It looks neat. This is a great example for everybody watching. Look, a long beard that's neat and I would say professional and you know, it's great, you know, and I appreciate your enthusiasm for it
Yeah.
and keep up the rocking the beard, keep up the great work.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's really good to talk to you. I hadn't talked to you for quite some time, so it's been a few years probably.
Yes, yes. Is there anything you want to say to people that are watching about the beard? Anything at all you want to share?
I want to say this. So the other night, my wife and I were getting ready to go to bed. We're laying in bed, and she throws her hair back like that, and she's laying in bed. It hits me in the face, and I turned on the light, and I said, Gina, I don't like hair on my face. And I looked at her, she looked at my beard, and we both laughed.
That's funny. That's funny. What about your sons? Did they grow up? Did they grow a beard or no?
Yeah, they got both Sherman and Clayton. They got the shorter beards, but yeah, they're beard.
When's the last time you didn't have a beard? How many years ago?
Oh, well, I don't know, maybe like 15, 20 years ago, something like that. And then I had a goatee, so always had a beard though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I guess maybe when I got out of the military, so maybe in 80, 89 or something like that.
wow. That's great, man. All right. Well, Mike, thanks again for joining us and for just giving us an update. And the beard looks wonderful. Keep up the great work and say hello to your family. And thank you.
Yep, sure thing, man. Take care.
Grow your beard, grow it long, stand up strong for your kingdom.